Nimesikia wengine wanauliza kwa nini mawaziri are getting involved in campaigns. And I ask them, where did you see me appear before Public Service Commission doing an interview to be a CS? I was elected politically and I know I will leave office politically, therefore I must be political. So tomorrow I will be here to sell the agenda of our party. You know, walimu, I want to just plead with you, because a lot has been said and there is nothing wrong with those who are opposed to government programs saying what they are saying. Even me, if I was in their shoes, I would scandalize the government as much as I want, because people are competing for power. So when you see Gachagua talking the way he's talking, nothing wrong. He's looking for power. Whatever he wants to do with that power, you ndio sijajua. But he's looking for what? Power. Kalonzo is looking for what? Power. Matiang'i is looking for what? Power. Now mnajua hata Wamalwa is looking for what? Lakini Ruto pia anataka kureturn power. Na Uhuru anataka kupata power. Abari anataka power. So kila mtu anataka power. The only difference is that what is it that they are saying and what is it that we are saying. Let me start from here. Ladies and gentlemen, when President Ruto became the President of the Republic of Kenya, many of us may not know, but Kenya's economy was in a bad shape. In 2021, IMF identified 6 nations, 6 countries in Africa, which were going to default in paying their debts. And when a country fails or defaults in paying debts, the consequences are dire. First, IMF, World Bank will come to town to help you come out of your problem. And the first thing they will tell you is you must apply some measures. Number 1, reduce your civil service by 50%. Reduce your teachers 50%. Reduce members of parliament 50%. Members of county assemblies 50%. And they will tell you, take a pay cut. That is what has happened to those countries which defaulted in paying. Because now you are at the mercy of the IMF and World Bank. Of those 6 nations, it is only Kenya which has survived. All the other 5 defaulted in paying their debt. And even Kenya, we almost defaulted in 2024. We are here today and you can see even those institutions which felt that Kenya was going to collapse as an economy are now saying Kenya has improved, the credit rating has gone up, there is no near-term debt default risk that Kenya is in. That Kenya now is with a positive outlook, something that we lost so many years back. It is not by accident. It is through hard work. It is through strategy. It is through intelligence. It is not about noise. It is not about talking in funerals. It is about sitting and engaging your mind to serious thinking on how to resuscitate economy. When I spoke about exempting some people from paying taxes, what I was doing was this. I was saying, now where we were, we are not as badly off as we were in 2024. And therefore, those who are earning 30,000 and below are earning a living wage. It is not a salary that you can again tax. It is a living wage. It is like minimum wage to a worker. And therefore, I am taking an amendment to Parliament to put any salary below 30,000 at 0 tax. And we are reducing the next amount from 30,000 to 50,000. You will also be paying at lower percentage from 30 to 25%. And by the way, even if you are earning 100,000, you are also benefiting from the 30 and from the 20. So from the 50,000 you are benefiting. So msifikiri ni wale tu wanapata 50,000 and below. Even if you are earning 200,000, your first 30,000 will attract zero tax. The next 20,000 is at 25%. Then the rest, now we graduate to 30%. That is what we are saying. And I hear people saying that you need too little, too late. I don't know late in going where. Where are we going to? And then they are saying that MBADI and President Ruto are doing that for campaign. It is okay. Even if it is for campaigns, if you get that money, kani utakosa kutumia hiyo pesa because it is money for campaign? Kama watu wanaweza faidika, hata kama ni campaigns, hata wewe employ your strategy of campaign, because you are also telling people things you know you are not going to be able to do because you are campaigning. But us, we are telling Kenyans, this is what we want to do this year, so that by the end of July, when you are getting your salary, at least there is something more in your pocket as disposable income. Because today, the majority of Kenyans who are paying taxes are only salaried people. Those who are not salaried, who are not in payroll, many of them are out here earning more money than you, but they are not paying any tax. We have a system now that is going to discover those people who are on private practice, you know them, and they are not paying taxes. Yet you earn your 50 and you pay tax. Someone is earning 200,000 and there is no way of finding him out. We have now a way of finding them out so that everybody can pay their equal share of a what? Of taxes. Hiyo ni mzuri ama ni mbaya? So, let me wind up. You know, I know we have our brothers from Korea. And by the way, let me tell you this. The other reason why I would urge all of us to give Ruto a second chance. You know, two reasons. And Nyamita, I think, said it. On inclusivity. I think it was Nyamita who said it. That President Ruto, I want you to listen to me on this. President Ruto is one president who has demonstrated to us through action that he can be inclusive. Let me tell you a story maybe you don't know. In 2007, after the 2007 election and after the post-election violence, Raila and Kibaki were literally forced to work together by the international community. It was not a choice, it was pressure. And when they sat to agree on a grand coalition government, Raila requested that since Kibaki was the president and the vice president was coming from Rengo yake, and he had insisted on interior, Raila wanted the Ministry of Finance. And Kibaki said, finance huwezi peana, hata kama hii kitu inaanguka wacha ianguke. He said, kama mbaya, he said, this ministry, I'm the minister. I cannot leave it, I cannot surrender it. Ruto, with very little pressure, if at all there was, decided to give Raila that position and to give it to our community. I know probably there are people who are saying, inatusaidia na nini? But the mere fact that you can even see Minister for Finance, just seeing me alone, is also just good enough, isn't it? May not be good enough, but it's good, isn't it? Ngoja niwaambie. Since Kenya got independence, and everybody in this country, there is one indisputable fact that people view Luos as very intelligent people. But since independence, up to 2024, 62 years after independence, there is no Luo who has ever sat as a minister at the treasury. I am the first one. Under the government of President Ruto, I'm the 18th minister. Of these 18 ministers, 10 of them, 10 from Mount Kenya region. 10 Mount Kenya region. 3 from Western. 2 from Nyanza, but from the Gusii region. 1 from Marsabit. 1 from the Kalenjin. And this is the first from the Luo community. And this is the minister who presides over the division of resources in this country. Now, let me ask you. When I became the minister, and you know very well, I know I'm taking much time, but let me just say. So when I became the minister, and I will tell you this, when I became the minister and I looked at the resources, how they are allocated in this country, you could see skewness. Our region never used to have any serious allocation, even under road sector, and we have the worst roads. This year, and by the way, when the budget is allocated, usually takes 1 year, 2 years before the procurement is completed. This time, Migori alone, the roads that we have put in the budget, as of today we are talking, 4 roads have been awarded, and I am sure next month, I want to make sure if the president will not find time, I will come and launch them myself. There are some which are still under procurement, but I know that the road from Kanyawanga to Dere to Rapogi is already awarded. The road from Posta, Ikeno, Nyarongi, all the way to Makala has already been awarded. The road from Masana to Norway has already been awarded. The road from Kababu, Bondonyironge, going all the way to Pinyoyi, that one is the one that has not been awarded, but I know it is in process. It has been awarded. And Namida is confirming to me that it has also been awarded. And the road from Daranganya to Nyamtiro, all the way to Ntimaru, which is 64 kilometers, has already been awarded. So the one that we are working on, I don't know, Mheshimiwa Nyamida, Stella Gogo, is also indicating it has been awarded. Now what I'm saying, how many roads are those in one financial year? I don't want to repeat what Governor Ochiro said. He also talked about the stadium. Who would have put 800 million in Migori Stadium if it is not this government? Who would have put money to redo the pier, which is at the Moorway, at that kind of resources, if it is not this government? I can go on and on. It is not only Migori. It is also Homa Bay, it is Kisumu, and it is Siaya. Listen to this. Kisumu, Nyanza, and the entire Luo community, and even Kisis and Kurias. We have never had level 6 hospital in this part of the world. And we don't even have a place where you can treat people for cancer. You can only do chemotherapy. There is no radiotherapy equipment. Now, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, under my signature, when I found that cabinet memorandum lying at the treasury, I signed it off. President supported. We made Jaramogi level 6. This supplementary we are taking to Bunge has 500 million to complete the cancer center, and then we are going to equip it at 1.5 billion shillings so that we can also have cancer center in Kisumu. Now, when we talk about these things, you know, it is very easy to excite our people in the streets, but our people like other Kenyans also deserve development. When you find someone driving all the way from Nyeri, which has many facilities, coming to Bomet and inciting the Kalenjins that President Ruto amechukua pesa yote, amewanyang'anya pesa, amepeleka kwa Wajaluo, then that person comes here to ask you to vote for someone. Utakubaliana na mtu kama huyo? Utakubaliana na mtu kama huyo? So, alawe ukawajonia. Gudurwa, and my brothers from Korea, you will forgive me on this. In just 2 minutes, I want to say something in Luo.